I'm Niko Tamurian, joined by Matt Hauswirth. Syracuse football back in action this week, and it's a different-looking Syracuse football team. Obviously, last week, letting defensive coordinator Brian Ward go. Steve Standard is in that position now. In the state of the Orange right now, is there a double-digit point underdog at Duke, which is not a great team. They're good. They're not great. Matt, you were at Dino's press conference, and you asked him about all this, and it was just a heartbreaking feeling is what Dino said.
Yeah, and it had a slightly different feel, this press conference, as opposed to the rest this season, and you could tell why. It was because Dino had to do something incredibly uncomfortable. He was saying in his presser he's never had to do this his entire head coaching career, where he had to get rid of one of his assistant coaches. I mean, Brian Ward's been with him at his last two previous stops between Syracuse and Bowling Green. They've grown close. I mean, this is his guy, his defensive coordinator, and it was just something he had to shake up. Something had to happen. Some can argue that maybe it wasn't the defense's fault. The defense, aside from the last game at Boston College, have been pretty good this season. But something had to be done, and it's unfortunate that Brian was the one who had to go.
Yeah, one thing that stuck out to me that Dino said in that press conference, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again and having the same result. In fact, the top 3 scoring efforts against Syracuse at the Dome under Brian Ward. So that's the thing I was talking earlier. Looked great against North Carolina State. Not so much against Boston College. And it would be this kind of ebb and flow. 2017, they beat Clemson. Yeah. And then they give up 64 to Wake Forest. That's kind of the ultimate reason here. And I think Dino looks outside to make this next hire. I think that Steve Standard will probably do a pretty good job. He's a great coach. He has a great resume. Yeah. But I think ultimately to change the course of things, I think Dino looks outside for that next spot.
Yeah, and Steve Standard, he's been a defensive coordinator seven other times in his 32-year coaching career, the last time in 2016 at Wyoming. So, he's had a pretty good run as the defensive ends coach with Kendall Coleman and Alton Robinson. He's gotten the most out of them. So maybe this is the guy. Maybe he does the most with this opportunity in his last 3 games. But I'm with you. I think odds are he'll probably look outside for this next defensive coordinator hire.
No question about it. So listen, technically still a bowl game on the table. As likely or as unlikely as that may be, they can finish 6-6 if they win at Duke this Saturday, at Louisville next Saturday, and close out the season beating Wake Forest in the Dome. Duke's a team they've underperformed, I should say, a little bit here. Dave Cutcliffe, obviously known for grooming the Manning brothers at quarterback. He's a great mind offensively, especially. Remember former coach Scott Schaefer would always kind of pick his brain, and almost saw Duke as the motto as a smaller private school. Now, obviously, Syracuse has a much more rich football tradition than Duke. Basketball, they can have a different story there, of course. But I think this is going to be a really close game down to the finish.
Yeah, I think it can. It has that capability. One of the things Dino said in this press conference on Monday is that, listen, David Cutcliffe is the smartest guy in the room. You walk into a room with David Cutcliffe, and the guy knows football. He knows X's and O's. He's gotten the most out of quarterbacks. I mean, you look back at the quarterbacks he's produced, whether it's Peyton Manning or now Daniel Jones, it's quite unbelievable what the guy has accomplished. Eli Manning as well. So this is a guy who knows football. His team might not be so good this year, 4-5 overall in the season. They are 2-3 in the ACC, a little bit better than Syracuse, I might add. But this is a team that, fully capable of winning. And listen, the game's on the road. Syracuse, besides that Liberty game, hasn't looked all that good on the road. So they're going to have to, hope this shakeup, this coaching shakeup, gets the best out of these players.
And that's just that you have that shakeup. You hope it inspires the players. And I'm looking for an inspired defensive effort. I think Syracuse gets a close game. I'm thinking like a 20-16 kind of game.
Okay, yeah. Duke struggled to put up yards this year.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, 197 total yards against Notre Dame. Granted, it's Notre Dame, but still, I mean, they can't move the ball this year. I think this is Syracuse's best opportunity to get a win in these final 3 games. I know it's on the road, but Duke is really not all that good. I think, I don't know. From what I've seen so far, I still think Syracuse loses this game in a close fashion, but it'll be a close game.
That's just it. I think it'll be close down to the wire. Wallace Wade Stadium, Saturday, 4 o'clock, down in Durham. So for right now, for Matt, I'm Niko. We'll obviously check back in with you on the Orange Zone later on this week.